were deeply in love. She believed in him when he had nothing, when he was just a humble tailor struggling to survive. But people mocked her, laughed at her, and humiliated them both. What they didn't know was this poor tailor was not who they thought he was. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more emotional African stories. Now listen carefully. This story will touch your heart and remind you that destiny often hides behind the most unlikely beginnings. Let's begin. In the middle of this busy marketplace stood a small wooden food stall painted in fading yellow, Mama Grace's food stand, and beside it, apron tied around her waist, was Amanda. Amanda was the kind of girl whose presence softened even the harshest morning. At 22, she carried a gentle beauty, soft brown eyes, neat braids tucked behind her ears, and a smile warm enough to melt anger. But beyond her looks, what truly made her stand out was her heart. Every trader knew Amanda as the girl who never turned anyone away hungry. Her mother, Mama Grace, had built her business with sweat and sacrifice, and Amanda had been helping her since childhood. While her three close friends, Kemi, Bisi, and Lara, often spoke of escaping the market life to find rich husbands abroad, Amanda found honor in helping her mother. She worked from dawn till dusk without complaint, serving food with humility. "Amma, take this 300 naira and give me rice small," a tired bus conductor said one morning, placing the crumpled note on the counter. Amanda looked at him with pity. Oga chucks, this money no reach anything. Sit down, I go serve you properly." Before he could protest, she scooped a generous portion of rice and beans, garnished it with stew, and handed it over. She didn't write it in the record book. She simply smiled and said, "God will provide." He blessed her loudly, attracting the attention of nearby traders. But Amanda didn't do it for praise. Helping people made her feel alive. Moments later, an elderly beggar shuffled toward the stall, dragging tired feet on the dusty ground. His clothes were torn, his beard long and gray, and his hands trembled with hunger. "Pekin," he whispered, barely loud enough to hear. "I never chopped since yesterday." Before Mama Grace could even respond, Amanda rushed inside the stall, scooped jollof rice into a container, added 2 pieces of fried fish, and hurried back outside. "Papa, sit here," she said softly, guiding him to a wooden bench. "Eat slowly." The old man's eyes filled with tears as he muttered blessing after blessing. Amanda bent down and wiped the corner of his mouth when he choked slightly. Several traders watched the scene but quickly looked away, ashamed they had turned him down earlier. Her friends, who had arrived just in time to witness the moment, rolled their eyes. "Amanda, you done start again," Kemi scoffed. "You treat beggars like they be VIPs. "And so?" Amanda asked with no anger. "They are human beings like us." "But na fine rich men we dey find BC teased, adjusting her eyelashes dramatically. "All these poor beggars no go give you better future." Amanda only laughed. "My happiness no, dey inside money." They shook their heads at her simple lifestyle, but Amanda didn't care. She had always believed that kindness returned with greater blessings. That same morning, something unusual happened at the far end of the market. A small commotion began as carpenters carried wooden boards and iron frames toward a vacant stall. Curious traders gathered around, whispering, "Who dey open shop there? I hear saying a new tailor way just come from village." But we already get plenty tailors here, nah." Amanda glanced toward the crowd but didn't pay much attention. New traders arrived often. Hours later, as she washed plates behind the stall, she noticed a young man struggling to lift a sewing machine from a wheelbarrow. He wore a faded brown shirt, rolled at the sleeves, and black trousers patched at the knees. Sweat dripped down his forehead, and his slippers were almost broken. He looked like one of the many hard-working men who came to Alana Market seeking a new beginning. "What's his name?" Amanda asked a passing trader. "They say the boy named Natunde," the man replied. "Him just relocate from village. Him one start small tailoring business." Amanda watched for a moment as Tunde carefully arranged his spools of thread, measuring tapes and scissors inside his tiny wooden shop. There was something quiet and determined about him, something that reminded her of her own mother's early struggles. Later that day, when business slowed, the same beggar Amanda had fed earlier shuffled past the new tailor shop. Tunde immediately dropped the fabric he was folding and approached him. "Papa, take seat here," he said kindly, pulling out a small wooden stool. "Sun too hot. Rest small. The old man sat, grateful. Tunde fetched a sachet of water from his shop and handed it to him. Amanda smiled softly from a distance. A heart that gives is rare, she thought. As the market prepared to close, the sky turning orange with sunset, Amanda helped her mother pack up the pots. She didn't know that as she worked, someone was watching her. Quietly, thoughtfully, with growing admiration. It was Tunde. The young tailor stood at the entrance of his shop, hands in his pockets, eyes fixed on the girl who treated everyone with dignity. He didn't know her name yet, but he knew her heart, and that was enough to change everything. The next morning, Alana Market woke with the usual burst of noise. But for Tunde, the day carried a new kind of excitement. He arrived early, sweeping the dusty front of his small stall, adjusting his sewing machine, and arranging colorful fabrics on the wooden shelves. But no matter how hard he tried to focus, his eyes drifted repeatedly toward Mama Grace's food stand, where he had first noticed Amanda the previous day. Tunde had seen many girls in his life, market girls, village girls, even city girls during his training. But none moved him the way Amanda did. There was something in her gentleness, her effortless grace, her willingness to treat the poorest beggar like royalty. It wasn't just her beauty, though she was beautiful. It was the warmth in her soul. And Tunde, despite his humble appearance, recognized rare jewels when he saw them. Around mid-morning, Amanda stood outside her stall, serving customers. Her laughter floated across the market like music. Each time she smiled, Tunde felt a strange flutter in his chest. What kind of girl is this? He wondered. How can someone shine this bright in a place like this? He wanted to talk to her. God knows he did. But each time he took a step forward, he felt his courage melt away. Ah, Tunde, he whispered to himself. You just come from village yesterday, oh. Behave. No, go embarrass yourself. Still, his eyes refused to stay away. Late that afternoon, business slowed. Amanda finally took a seat on a wooden bench, wiping sweat from her forehead. Her mother was inside the stall, frying plantain, and the air was filled with the sweet smell of ripe dodo. The beggar from the day before approached again, his voice weak with hunger. Amanda, God bless you yesterday. I know get strength today, too. Before she could reply, Tunde suddenly appeared beside them, holding a sachet of cold water. Papa, drink small, he said gently. Amanda looked up, surprised. It was her first real close look at him. His shirt was old but clean. His face was calm, with soft, thoughtful eyes. There was humility in his posture, as though he carried the world carefully on his shoulders. The old man gulped the water gratefully. God bless both of Una, he murmured. Tunde smiled shyly and stepped back. Amanda's eyes followed him. Thank you, she said softly. Not everyone in this market cares. Tunde hesitated. His voice felt stuck in his throat, but he forced himself to speak. I just believe, say everybody deserves small kindness. Amanda nodded. Yes, that is true. An awkward silence followed. Tunde scratched his head nervously. My name is Tunde, he managed to say. Amanda, she replied, smiling. The smile nearly stopped his heart. For the next few minutes they talked, small things at first, where he came from, how long he had been sewing, how her mother's food stand began. Amanda was easy to talk to. She listened with genuine interest, not looking down on him even though he clearly appeared poor. So you moved here alone? She asked. Yes, he nodded. I want to start life fresh, open shop, build something. Her eyes brightened. That's good. Everyone deserves a fresh start. Her words hit him deeply. Not many people believed in him, especially at first sight. Most market women had already dismissed him as one of those broke tailors from village. He had heard their whispers, but he pretended not to care. Yet here was Amanda, encouraging him without knowing anything about his past, his struggles, or his future. She took a step closer, genuinely curious. So what do you sew? Anything, Tunde said, gaining confidence. Native wear, agbada, senator, gowns. I try my best. She giggled softly. I believe your best is good. That giggle wrapped itself around his heart. As the sun lowered, casting shadows across the market, Tunde returned to his shop. But he couldn't concentrate. His hands shook as he threaded his machine. Why the girl they do me like this? He muttered to himself, laughing nervously. He kept replaying her smile, her warm voice, the simple way she said his name. Then he looked out through the wooden window of his stall. Amanda was helping her mother close up, arranging the pots and washing plates. She looked tired, but even in exhaustion, her kindness glowed. A trader passing by stopped at his door. Tunde nearly jumped out of his chair. Look who, me? No, oh! The trader laughed loudly. My brother, if you like her, go talk to Am. She no be bad person. But Tunde shook his head. She fine past my level. She be good girl. Me, I just start life. Yet deep inside, a small voice whispered, maybe she is meant for you. The next day, Tunde dressed better. He ironed his only decent shirt and even polished his old shoes. He wanted to look presentable, not because he was trying to impress her with wealth, but because her kindness made him want to be his best self. He reached the market earlier than usual, fixing the torn curtain in his stall and arranging fabrics more neatly. Every sound made him turn his head, hoping it was Amanda arriving. At exactly 7:15 a.m., she walked into the market holding a cooler of food. Tunde's breath caught. She wore a simple long gown, her braids tied into a neat bun. The morning sun lit her face, giving her a glow that made him swallow hard. Good morning, Amanda, a market woman called out. Good morning, Ma, she replied cheerfully, waving. Her voice floated across the market like a gentle breeze. Tunde stepped out of his shop, pretending to adjust something outside, just to steal a glance. To his surprise, Amanda turned and waved at him. Tunde, good morning. He froze, then quickly responded, Good morning. He sounded like he swallowed his tongue, and Amanda laughed lightly before disappearing into the food stall. Tunde covered his face with his hands. Ah, Tunde, behave yourself now. See how you embarrass yourself. But he was happy, more than happy, because she noticed him. Later that afternoon, Amanda passed by his shop carrying Mama said I should give you lunch, she said, handing it over. Tunde stared at the food, stunned. Ah, why? I never even buy anything. She said you are new here, Amanda replied with a smile, and in this market, we support each other. Tunde felt his throat tighten. He had eaten nothing all morning but water. Yet it wasn't the food that touched him. It was the kindness behind it. He took the bowl slowly. Thank you, Amanda. Their eyes met, warm, gentle, curious, and in that moment, something undeniable sparked between them. Something neither poverty nor gossip could stop. A beginning had unfolded. In the days that followed, a quiet rhythm grew between Amanda and Tunde, soft, steady, and almost too natural for two people who had just met. It began with morning greetings, shy smiles, and small conversations shared in the spaces between their busy work hours. But by the end of the first week, everyone in Alana Market noticed the way Tunde's eyes followed Amanda wherever she went. And Amanda, well, she found herself thinking about him more often than she expected. One slow Tuesday afternoon, Amanda carried a tray of freshly fried plantain to her mother's stall. The weather was extremely hot, and most traders hid under umbrellas to escape the scorching sun. As she walked past Tunde's shop, she heard the gentle whir of his sewing machine. He was bent over a deep green senator fabric, stitching with precision. Sweat dotted his forehead, but his hands moved with artistic confidence. Amanda paused to watch him, mesmerized. She had never seen a tailor so skilled. Not in Alana Market, not anywhere. Wow, she whispered before she could stop herself. Tunde looked up sharply. When he saw her standing there, he nearly pricked his finger. Amanda, I didn't see you. She stepped inside, her eyes scanning the detailed designs scattered across his table. You sew like someone who has been doing this forever. I started at 13, he said, smiling shyly. But I still day learn. Her eyes widened. You call this learning? These are perfect. Tunde rubbed the back of his neck nervously. Thank you. I day try small. Amanda touched the edge of the senator fabric. Your stitches are straight, clean, smooth. Tunde, you are gifted. Those words pierced the deepest part of him. He had heard compliments before, but none delivered with such sincerity, such warmth. For a moment, he forgot he was supposed to play the humble tailor role he had chosen for himself in this market. His true identity tugged at his tongue, begging to be released, but he swallowed the urge. Not yet. Instead, he smiled. I'm happy you like my work. That evening, when the sun began to descend and the market prepared to close, Amanda walked over with a bowl of food. I brought you dinner, she said softly. You worked all day. Tunde stared at the bowl, rice, plantain, and a generous portion of chicken. Amanda, you dey feed me too much. I go start to think, say what? She teased. Say you want to make me fat. Amanda burst into laughter, and the sound filled his small shop like music. They ate together, sitting side by side on his wooden bench. It was the first time they shared a meal, and the moment felt effortless. Two hearts discovering each other in the quiet corners of a noisy market. After eating, they talked for nearly an hour. Amanda told him about her dreams, finishing school, helping her mother build a bigger restaurant, maybe opening a second branch someday. Tunde listened intently. I believe you can do all that. She smiled. And what about you? What is your dream? Tunde looked at his sewing machine for the moment his true self flickered behind his eyes. But he spoke with the character he had chosen to live for now. I want to be the best fashion designer in the country. Amanda's eyebrows lifted. Not just the market? Not just the market, he said firmly. I want to build an empire. Amanda leaned back impressed. Then you will. I can feel it. Her confidence in him was intoxicating. Nobody else saw greatness in him. Not when he dressed simply, not when he looked like a man struggling to survive. But Amanda saw something deeper. She saw his vision, his inner wealth. Tunde's heart fluttered. You believe in me like this? I don't just believe, she whispered. I know. Those words did something to him, something permanent. By the second week, their connection deepened into something undeniable. Amanda began spending her free time in his shop, watching him sew or helping him cut fabrics. She found joy in the little things, threading needles for him, arranging buttons, or laughing each time he dropped something out of nervousness. Other times they walked through the market together after closing. The traders noticed their growing closeness and whispered among themselves, but Amanda didn't mind. Neither did Tunde. One quiet evening, while walking home, Tunde gathered courage. Amanda, he said softly, can I ask you something? She stopped, turning to face him. Of course, it's all though. He swallowed hard. Do you like spending time with me? Amanda smiled slowly. Yes, I do. Very much. Tunde felt his heart expand inside his chest. I like spending time with you too. Maybe too much. Their eyes locked, and for a moment the entire world faded. The market noise, the distant motorcycles, the gossiping traders, everything vanished. Only the two of them existed. Amanda looked down. Shimua. Tunde? Yes? You are different. Kind, gentle, hardworking. I admire you. Her confession echoed like a melody he had waited years to hear. Without thinking, Tunde reached for her hand, but paused midway, unsure if he had crossed a line. Amanda noticed the hesitation and gently placed her hand in his. His fingers closed around hers, trembling. And in that instant, something shifted. There was no going back. By the third week, they were inseparable. They walked together, laughed together, ate together. Their friendship had blossomed boldly into love. Quiet but powerful, delicate but determined. One morning when the wind was cool and traders were still arriving, Tunde surprised Amanda with a small gift, a simple beaded bracelet with her initials crafted into it. For me? She gasped. Yes, Tunde said, blushing. I made it yesterday night. I no get money for gold or silver yet, but I hope you like it. Amanda stared at the bracelet like it was treasure. I love it. He tied it around her wrist, his fingers brushing her skin. Amanda felt warmth travel up her arm and settle in her chest. Tunde, she whispered, nobody has ever done something this thoughtful for me. Get ready, he said softly. I go do more. Their hands brushed again, this time intentionally. Amanda looked at him with eyes full of emotion. I think I am falling for you. Tunde inhaled sharply. Manda, I day fall for you too. The market faded behind them, and under the rising sun of Alana Market, two hearts sealed their bond. Not with diamonds, not with wealth, not with status, but with sincerity. And it was only the beginning. Love has a way of making ordinary days feel golden. For Amanda, the weeks after she and Tunde admitted their feelings felt like a long, shining morning. She woke excited to go to the market, not just to help her mother, but to see Tunde smile, to hear his laugh, to watch his hands work magic on fabric. But while their hearts blossomed quietly, the eyes watching them were not quiet at all. Alana Market had many things: noise, sweat, customers, struggles. But it also had one other constant: gossip. And when gossip found something to chew, it did not let go easily. It started with whispers. At first, it was just little comments Amanda could pretend not to hear. See fine girl like this. Follow Taylor. If not me, I no go waste my beauty like that. She no see banker, engineer, businessman. Na sewing she choose? Her three closest friends, Kemi, BC, and Laura, watched everything with growing irritation. One afternoon, as they sat under an umbrella near Mama Grace's stall eating Peef Puff, the three of them exchanged glances while Amanda laughed with Tunde across the lane. Can you people see what I'm seeing? Kemi finally said, rolling her eyes. BC hissed, it's embarrassing. Amanda way we planned big future with, nowadays romance Taylor inside market. Laura clicked her tongue. I no understand her life choice at all. Fine girl like that, humble, smart, and she chose poverty with full chest. They burst into giggles, but there was a bitter edge to it. When Amanda returned, cheeks slightly flushed from talking with Tunde, she plopped down beside them. Girls, you won't believe the new style Tunde is designing, she said with a bright smile. He wants to create a whole collection just for working class ladies. Affordable but classy. I told him, Kemi cut in sharply. Amanda, please, we are tired of hearing Tunde this, Tunde that. Amanda blinked, surprised. What do you mean? BC leaned forward, her voice harsh. We mean you should open your eyes. You're spending too much time with that Taylor boy. Laura added, yes now, this is not love, this is career suicide. Amanda stared at them, hurt flashing briefly across her eyes. Career suicide? Is it because he is a tailor? Kemi snorted. He is not even a big tailor. Look at his small stall. One sewing machine, two chairs, one old fan, way no day work. That is who you want to build future with? Amanda's chest tightened, but she forced her voice to remain calm. You people are looking at what he has now. I am seeing where he is going. BC shook her head in disbelief. Where he is going, my dear, do you know how many tailors are in this Lagos alone? You think it's by dream? No connections, no big shop, nothing. And you are here shouting empire up and down. Laura added with a bitter laugh. Meanwhile, see that pharmacist that was toasting you last month? You ignored him. The one that drives Camry, at least that one has AC in his house. The words stung more than Amanda wanted to admit, but she sat up straighter. Pharmacist, banker, engineer. None of that matters to me if the person does not have a good heart, she replied. Tunde is kind, he respects people, he works hard, and he has vision. Kemi rolled her eyes dramatically. My dear, vision does not pay rent. BC snapped her fingers. Better open your eyes now before it's too late. You are fine, Amanda. You can marry big. You can leave this market life behind. Don't trap yourself with a man that may never rise. Amanda's voice dropped, soft yet firm. You're wrong. They fell silent for a moment, surprised by the quiet strength in her tone. I know what I am doing, she continued. I would rather build with a man from the ground up and grow together than join someone at the top who does not value me. BC scoffed under her breath. We'll see. The friendship didn't break that day, but it cracked. Just a little. The next wave of mockery came from the market women. One hot afternoon, Amanda walked to Tunde's stall carrying a bowl of rice, stew, and meat. She didn't know that three nearby traders were watching closely. Mama Kafaya, who sold tomatoes, Madam Chi, who sold provisions, and Alhaja Ronke, who sold fabrics. See her, Mama Kafaya muttered, leaning against a stack of baskets. Fine market girl, going to feed Taylor every day. Madam Chi scoffed. These young girls don't have sense again. In our time, we used to pray for men with money, land, and properties. Now they are chasing struggling men with sweet mouth. Alhaja Ronke chuckled. Maybe she thinks love will pay school fees. They laughed as Amanda placed the food on Tunde's table, smiling as if she carried a treasure. Tunde stood up quickly when he saw her. Ah, Amanda, you brought food again? Yes, she said, smiling. You've been working since morning. You need strength. As they shared a brief laugh, the women exchanged looks of mock pity. Love dawn blind her, one whispered. She go soon learn, another replied. The whispers multiplied. Some customers began to mock her openly. One afternoon, two young men came to eat at Mama Grace's stall. As Amanda served them, they exchanged glances and smirked. Amanda, we hear say you done marry Taylor for heart, one said loudly. The other laughed. Nawa-o, fine girl like you for at least pick person, we get shop for plaza, not one small corner Taylor. A ripple of laughter spread through the stall. Amanda paused, the plate trembling slightly in her hand. Her cheeks felt hot, but she kept her voice steady. Please eat your food in peace, she said quietly. My personal life is not your business. Her mother, Mama Grace, heard the comment and came out from behind the counter, her brows furrowed. Two of you, eat and get up, she said sharply. No come here day insult my daughter. If you don't like how she lives her life, face your own. The young men muttered something and ate in sullen silence. But the damage was done. That night, as the market closed and darkness began to swallow the stalls one by one. Sit down, she said gently. Amanda knew what was coming. Her mother wiped her hands on her wrapper and sat opposite her. The stall was quiet now, only the chirping of distant crickets filling the silence. My daughter, Mama Grace began. You know I love you, Abby? Amanda nodded. I have been watching you and that boy, Tunde. I see how you look at him. I see how you carry food to his stall. You know in this world, people will always talk. I can handle gossip. But as your mother, I must ask you. She paused, searching Amanda's eyes. What exactly do you see in this boy? Tears stung Amanda's eyes, not because she felt attacked, but because the question was genuine, full of concern. Mummy, she began, her voice trembling slightly. I know people think I am foolish. They think I have no ambition. But they don't see what I see. What do you see? Mama Grace repeated gently. Amanda took a deep breath. I see a man who treats the poor with dignity. I see a man who doesn't look down on you because you sell food. I see someone who works with his hands, who doesn't steal, who doesn't cut corners. I see a man with vision. Mummy, when he talks about fashion, his eyes light up. He wants to build something big, something that will employ people, something that will change lives. She wiped her eyes quickly. People see a poor tailor. I see a man who is rich in heart, rich in character, rich in vision. The stall was silent for a long moment. Mama Grace studied her daughter carefully, the conviction in her eyes, the calm strength in her voice. Do you love him? She asked quietly. Amanda nodded without hesitation. Yes, Mummy, with all my heart. Are you ready to suffer with him if things are not easy at first? She pressed. Yes. Even if your friends leave you, even if people mock you, even if life is tough. Amanda's answer was steady. Yes. Mama Grace sighed deeply, leaning back, her eyes glistening with unspoken thoughts. Then slowly a small smile tugged at the corner of her lips. Then I will stand with you, she said softly. If this is who you choose, then he is who I will support. Amanda's breath caught. Mummy, you mean it? Yes, she nodded. A man's bank account can change overnight. But a man's heart, that one is harder to find. If you say his heart is good, then that is enough for me. Tears spilled freely now. Thank you, Mummy. Mama Grace reached across and held her daughter's hands. And from today, she added firmly, that boy will never go hungry in this market. Even if he has no money, he will eat from my pot. Free. Amanda laughed through her tears. He will be so grateful. You can tell him, Mama Grace said. Let them talk. Let them mock. One day they will understand. Outside, the last of the traders closed their stalls. Inside that little food stand, a quiet alliance was formed. A daughter choosing love. A mother choosing to trust her daughter's heart. In a future that, unknown to them, was already blazing brighter than any of their imaginations. The whispers would grow louder. The mockery would intensify. But now Amanda was no longer standing alone. She had her mother beside her, and she had made her choice. Sometimes love feels strong enough to stand against the world, until the world decides to push back with all its strength. And in Alana Market, the world pushed hard. At first, it was only snide comments and whispers. Amanda tried to ignore them. Tunde tried to laugh them off. Mama Grace defended them fiercely. But gossip is fueled by envy, and once it starts burning, it doesn't stop until it destroys something. The destruction began slowly. One Saturday morning, Amanda was helping her mother serve customers during the breakfast rush. Business was booming. The aroma of smoked fish stew always brought crowds. As she dished rice onto a plate, she heard a group of young men joking loudly nearby. Amanda donned downgrade, one said, loud enough for her to hear. Another replied, Shayna Taylor her beauty reach? A third laughed. By the time hunger wire her, she go look for rich man. The three burst into laughter. Amanda pretended not to hear, but her hands shook as she passed the plate to a customer. Tunde heard too. He was sweeping the front of his shop when their laughter carried across the lane. His chest tightened. He wanted to confront them, but he feared causing a scene. So he swallowed the insult like he had swallowed many in his life. But the humiliation didn't stop there. Later that afternoon, Amanda decided to take a short break. She walked across the market to buy fruits. As she reached the fruit stand, she saw her friends, Kemi, Bisi, and Lara, gathered under a shade, whispering intensely. The moment they spotted her, the whispers stopped. Amanda, come, Bisi said, patting the wooden bench with fake sweetness. We need to talk. Amanda sighed inwardly but approached. What is it this time? She asked, already exhausted. Kemi leaned forward dramatically. My dear, we are your friends. We cannot watch you waste your life. Lara flicked her gray rooms. Yes, now, you're drowning yourself in poverty because of this tailor boy. Amanda tensed. His name is Tunde. Yes, Bisi scoffed. Tunde the tailor, Mr. Sewing Machine, Mr. Poverty Ambassador. The girls burst into a hysterical laughter. Amanda's throat tightened. Stop it, she whispered. Kemi stood up and pointed toward Tunde's stall. Look at his shop. Look at it. One small space like bathroom. No customers. No future. He has a future, Amanda cried, surprising even herself with the force in her voice. He has talent. He has vision. Everything great starts small. Laura rolled her eyes. This girl Dawn fall in love finish. She no day think again. Bisi clapped slowly, mockingly. Congratulations, Amanda. When we said dream big, we didn't expect you to dream downward. Amanda's eyes burned with tears she refused to release. Why can't you just be happy for me? Because you are making a mistake, Kemi snapped. When your beauty fades, when life hits you, do you think love will feed you? Will sewing machines pay rent? Amanda's voice cracked. Why do you think money is everything? Because we are not fools, Bisi shouted. You had options, Amanda. Rich men, educated men, men with cars. But you chose a tailor, a tailor. Amanda took a step back, trembling. The three girls stood staring at her with a mixture of pity and disgust. You will regret this, Lara said coldly. Mark our words. Amanda couldn't speak. Her heart was pounding too loudly. Now the tears fell. She turned away and walked without looking back. Behind her, her friends whispered loudly on purpose. She has finally lost her senses. She will suffer with that boy. She threw her life away. Their laughter echoed in her ears all the way back to the food stall. That evening, Tunde noticed her red eyes the moment she approached. Amanda, what happened? He asked softly. She shook her head. Nothing, I'm fine. But he knew she wasn't. He gently held her wrist. Talk to me. The tears came before she could stop them. They humiliated me, Tunde. My own friends. They said I am wasting my life. They said you have no future. They said I am foolish. Tunde felt the words stab him. Not because of the mockery directed at him. He was used to insults. But because she was crying because of him. He inhaled slowly, trying to steady himself. Amanda, please don't cry. I can't help it, she sobbed. I'm tired, Tunde. Every day someone mocks us. Every day someone calls you useless. Every day someone insults my choice. How long can we live like this? Tunde swallowed hard. He wanted to tell her everything. He wanted to say, I am not who they think I am. I am not poor. I own a fashion empire bigger than anything they have imagined. They are mocking a king without knowing. But he couldn't, not yet. He cupped her face gently. Amanda, look at me. Her tear-filled eyes rose to his. You chose me when I had nothing, he said quietly. You treated me like somebody, when everyone treated me like nobody. One day, very soon, all this pain will make sense. She shook her head weakly. But it hurts, Tunde. It hurts so much. He pulled her into a soft embrace. For a moment, the bustling market disappeared. The noise faded. The world quieted. Just two souls holding on to each other, trying not to drown. I promise you, Tunde whispered, voice thick with emotion, the same mouths that mock you today will beg you tomorrow. I swear it. Amanda clung to him, trusting him even though she didn't understand how he could sound so sure. They stayed that way for a long time, two hearts fighting the weight of a world determined to tear them apart. But the final humiliation came the next day. A group of traders gathered around as Amanda walked to Tunde's stall with food. One woman shouted loudly, Amanda, a whole you, why you two love suffer like this? Another added, Na tailor you day feed every day. Abi na charity foundation you want start? A man yelled, Leave am, she go soon learn lesson. Laughter erupted like wildfire. Amanda froze, her hands shaking, her heart pounding. Tunde stepped out of his stall, face drawn, eyes burning with restrained anger. Enough, he said quietly. But the mockery continued. More people gathered, more insults flew. It was the worst moment yet. Amanda felt her dignity crumble. She looked at Tunde. Tunde looked at her. And in that painful silence, he made a decision that would change everything. Tomorrow the world would know the truth. The humiliation would end. The revelation would begin. The night after Amanda's worst humiliation, Tunde did not sleep. He lay awake in his small, rented room, staring at the ceiling as the mockery replayed in his mind, the laughter, the insults, the whispers that cut deeper than knives. But what hurt the most wasn't what they said about him. It was what Amanda endured. Her tears burned into his memory, refusing to fade. By dawn, his mind was made up. The pretending ends today. It was time for Alana Market to meet the real Tunde. It was time for Amanda to receive the honor she deserved. Amanda woke that morning with no appetite, her heart still raw from yesterday's humiliation. She dragged herself to the market, helping her mother set up the food stand silently. Mama Grace watched her carefully. My daughter, don't worry. People cannot mock who God has blessed. Amanda nodded weakly, but her heart still felt heavy. Meanwhile, across the market, something unusual was happening. Large black SUVs slowly rolled into Alana Market, sleek, polished, intimidating. Security escorts stepped out first, dressed in matching black suits, earpieces clipped to their ears, scanning the surroundings like hawks. Market people froze. Who be this? Is it governor? Maybe one senator won by land. Chai, see motors, someone important, Don, come o. The cars formed a perfect line near the center of the market. Then the back door of the first SUV opened, and Tunde stepped out. But not the Tunde they knew. This was a transformed man. He wore a tailored black designer caftan, embroidered with gold. A luxury wristwatch glimmered on his wrist. His shoes alone looked like they cost more than half the stalls in the market. His posture was confident, commanding, nothing like the humble tailor they thought he was. Gasps erupted. Jesus, is that not the tailor boy? No, it can't be him. Chai, see fine boy, see drip. Ah, my eye they pain me. Now the same Tunde be this? Even Mama Kafaya dropped her tomatoes. People rushed to their stalls, confused and trembling. But the shock was only beginning. Behind Tunde stepped two well-known fashion journalists carrying cameras. Behind them came assistants carrying garment bags labeled Tunde Ola Dele, Africa's #1 fashion icon CEO, Ola Adel Empire. A stunned silence fell across the market. The whispers started again, AEU, this time trembling, respectful, fearful. Ola Adel Empire, is that not the biggest fashion house in the continent? That one that designs for presidents and celebrities? Ha! They say the owner is richer than some politicians. No now. You mean that tailor is him? People gasped, screamed, covered their mouths, staggered backward. What have we done? God, I mocked him yesterday. Chineke, I called him poverty ambassador. Meanwhile, Amanda stood frozen at her mother's stall, hands shaking, unsure what she was seeing. Tunde, she whispered. He began walking toward her, slow, steady, confident, like a king who had come to reclaim something precious. People parted like water as he approached, clearing a path without being asked. And when he stopped in front of Amanda, she felt her knees weaken. Tunde, what is all this? She whispered. His eyes softened. Amanda, he said quietly, this is who I really am. Gasps rippled through the crowd. He continued, I am Tunde Oladele, CEO of Oladeli Empire, one of the largest fashion brands in Africa. I disguise myself sometimes to find honest people, people who don't love me for wealth. Amanda's eyes filled with tears. You mean all this time? Yes, he said gently. And you, Amanda, you saw me when I was nothing. You believed in me when the world mocked me. You fed me. You defended me. You loved me. She covered her mouth, overwhelmed. The crowd stared, stunned into silence. Tunde dropped to one knee. The market screamed. Amanda, he said, voice steady and full of emotion. You chose me when I had nothing. Now let me choose you in front of the whole world. An assistant opened a small velvet box. Inside was a ring so breathtaking the sunlight caught it and scattered diamonds across the ground like stars. Will you marry me? Tunde asked. Amanda burst into pure, overwhelming joy. Yes, she whispered. Then louder, stronger. Yes, yes, Tunde, I will marry you. The entire market erupted into cheers. Women screamed and danced. Men clapped and whistled. Some jealous traders cried quietly. Kemi, Bisi, and Lara stood in shame, unable to lift their heads. Mama Grace collapsed into her chair, crying tears of joy. Tunde stood, pulled Amanda into his arms, and held her tightly as the market exploded with celebration. The wedding was nothing short of a royal spectacle. It was held in one of the most luxurious event centers in Lagos. Celebrities attended. Governors came. Fashion icons from Paris, Milan, New York, and Johannesburg filled the hall. Camera flashes lit the red carpet like lightning. Amanda wore a handcrafted diamond-embroidered gown, custom-made by Tunde himself. The dress was valued at an amount that made some guests dizzy. Mama Grace walked beside her daughter, dressed in gold lace, treated like a queen. As Amanda entered this hall, guests stood and applauded. Everyone knew her story now. The girl who loved a poor tailor and turned out to be chosen by a billionaire fashion legend. Meanwhile, Kemi, Bisi, and Lara watched from the back of the hall, crying silently, not out of joy, but regret. If only we knew. We mocked her. We mocked her future husband. But destiny had spoken. Amanda had won. During the vows, Tunde's voice trembled. I promise to honor you for loving me without knowing who I was. You are my blessing. Amanda smiled through tears. And I promise to stand by you forever, whether the world sees your wealth or your simplicity. They kissed. The hall shook with applause. That night, as the celebration continued, Amanda looked around the grand ballroom. At the chandeliers, the gold decorations, the cameras, the luxury, the love. Her heart whispered, so this is what faith can build. This is what happens when you trust a good man. And somewhere in the shadows, the people who mocked her bowed their heads in shame. Amanda did not just get married. She inherited an empire. She inherited respect. She inherited destiny. And beside her stood Tunde, the man she loved deeply, the man she believed in before the world knew his name. Together they began a new life, the simple food seller's daughter and the billionaire fashion king. A love story the world would never forget. Moral of the story, true love sees beyond wealth, status, and appearance. Those who judge by surface miss life's greatest blessings. When you choose a partner with vision, character, and kindness, destiny rewards you. Mockery cannot stop a future built on faith, loyalty, and genuine love. Thank you for watching this emotional journey of love, loyalty, and destiny. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more powerful African stories. Remember, never underestimate a humble beginning. See you in the next story.